Happy New Year. Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, wait, I gotta get my engineering glasses on.
That's right.
Sorry, I was distracted
This
for a
is the
second.
new version of Eagle CAD.
Okay.
It's
I'm floating through the shapes.
It's Oculus Eagle CAD.
Oculus CAD. All right, well, we've got an exciting show for you tonight. First one of 2020. It's me, Lady Ada.
One could say this is the best show of 2020.
This so far, yeah. It's only going to be downhill from here. It's me, Lady Ada, the engineer. With me is Mr. Lady Ada on video camera support.
Hello.
And got the show together. We've got an exciting show to kick off this year. We're coming hard.
That's right.
All right, what's on tonight's show? Because we gotta do this thing.
Yeah, we never let up.
No.
We've been barreling through. We were working yesterday, we were working today, but it's only work if you want to do something else, and we really like doing this. I just want to let everyone know, we really like doing this, and this is why we've been doing
It's
this
true.
for like a decade.
I know.
And
if we hated it, that would be torture.
And it's because of all y'all. So as a way of saying thanks, besides saying thanks, is here's a discount code, 2020.
That's a nice
That's
code.
the discount code. I thought that was fun. 2020's discount code, 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. January 1st,
2020.
2020.
Oh.
Yeah, everything except for gift certificates, Ada boxes, and Code Academy courses. It supports us, an open source hardware company here in New York City in 2020.
We just took this photo.
We just took this photo like a week or so ago. This isn't all of us. This is whoever was around on a Friday
Yeah.
at 3.
Which is not.
We don't
everybody
do
here.
mandatory meetings or mandatory photos or anything. So this was whoever was around. So thank you everybody who was in the photo. But that's who you help out when you use the code 2020. Show and tell people around the world, showing and sharing their stuff. Adafruit does it every single week. Lady is going to talk about who's on the
true.
show and tell.
I wrote
and
them
more.
down.
John Park's workshop. We're going to do Make Code Minute.
He'll be back soon.
He'll be back tomorrow.
Ooh.
I think so.
That's
Some
right.
Python on hardware. Time travel. Get a look around the world. Makers, hackers, artists, engineers. We have some best of, some top of the decade, some things we want to see, hopefully some things that we can build together. Help wanted. I'm going to talk about job opening soon. 3D printing. Got a great video from Noah and Pedro. Their show returns next week, by the way. Some main New York City factory footage. It's going to be a little bit different this week, and I'll show you why just in a few moments. New products. We've got some new products. We're going to show Top Secret. Just to give you a heads up on what we're going to show on Top Secret so you can get ready. We're going to be showing off the clue board tonight. A lot of people have asked about it. We're going to be showing that
I have
off
one.
tonight.
2, maybe.
That's right. We're going to answer your questions. We do that in Discord, adafruit.it/Discord. Join all 15,000 of us there. All that and more on, you guessed it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, well, let's start
Let's
off
kick it.
with the usuals.
Freebies,
So we're still
freebies.
keeping the free deals for now, as long as we have this stuff. So you get free PS ground shipping, we have free Circuit Playground Express, and free Perma Proto, depending on how much you spend.
Do you want me to talk about it, or do you
Yeah.
want to just... Okay, $99 or more, you get a free Perma Proto half-size breadboard. It's just like a solderless half-size breadboard, but it's made out of PCB, so you can solder your project onto it, recycle your breadboard, and then your project is more sturdy. People love these. They use them for their projects to make them more durable, and they look great. $199 or more, you get free UPS ground shipping in the continental United States. You'll definitely get it by next Christmas if you order now. But it's a good, reliable shipping. It's trackable. It's insured. You'll get it when it says you're going to get it. And $299 or more, you'll get a free Circuit Playground Express, our all-in-one development platform that supports TeenyGo, Arduino, CircuitPython, Code.org, CS Discoveries, MakeCode, MakerBlocks, MicroLisp, and more. People love it because it has built-in LEDs, sensors, and buttons, and switches, and battery connectors, and all that good stuff, so that it's really easy to get started with your project without any soldering required.
Okay, for shipping options, UPS ground is the best way to go in the US if you want to save a buck or two, but have more time on your hands. Postal is a good option, and then for international, we suggest DHL.
Correct.
If you are in New York City, starting again tomorrow, because today was a holiday, same day delivery, just check out before 11 a.m., and if it's a zip code that is supported by the same day delivery service in Manhattan, you can get your order same day. Okay, people around the world showing and sharing their projects every single week. We do show and tell. People stop by. What was on the show and tell this week? And who shared it? And what was going on?
I'm glad you asked. Colin showed off a BLE ball drop project that he made for the new year using a Circuit Playground Bluefruit and Circuit Python, because he was trying to build this in about an hour. He made a project that at midnight, he pressed a button on his phone and a servo moved and dropped a glowing ball. And shocked and surprised and impressed all of his guests. So that was pretty cool. Brian came by and showed off the beginnings of his Easy Make oven. He's going to make a DIY controlled oven based on the project that Dan C. did for the learning system. Scott had an RS-232 Featherwing that converts UART to plus minus 10 volt RS-232. Handy because there's still a lot of industrial equipment that uses those high voltage serial signals. And now he has an IR receiver that can control his TV and stereo, thus fulfilling the dream of like every dude who has a receiver and TV, just one remote. Amazing. And he posted up the CircuitPython in 2020 blog post, things that we did last year, things we're thinking of doing next year, and of course a call for everybody to comment or email about what you want to see CircuitPython achieve in the coming year. We have a lot of ideas and plans, but maybe you have good ideas and plans too. We'd love to hear them. And a lot of the times, the people's ideas and plans actually make it into what gets accomplished that year, which is amazing.
That's why we call it Code Plus Community. You can see the previous years and things that we wanted to do together.
Last year's code is this year's community.
That's right, and vice versa.
That's true. Drew and Helen went to CCC, and they're back now. They worked on getting the Hackaday badge, booting Linux using a memory cart that plugs in. That's cute. And they also got a castellated Serpente CircuitPython board from Arturo and have been playing with Neopixels and the Serpente, so it looks really glowy and adorable. Noe had the red glasses as I was showing. We have a guide for them. It went live. These fun res-inspired glasses use our triple Neopixel rings and an itsy bitsy. They're coded in CircuitPython to make cool glowy effects. And just, they're like really cool glasses, like hypno effect. Eduardo showed off an update to his ThermalCam project, no longer on a breadboard. It's now more compact. It's on a Pi Gamer, and he's thinking of making it even more easy to put together with the Stemma thermal camera that we just put in the store. So it's going to be cool. BCG has ported TinyGo to the PiPortal hardware, so it has TFT control, the temperature readings for the sensors on board, touchscreen and graphic stuff, so connecting to the internet. He says it's great for doing like integration testing, and it's nice and fast. You get like 40 frames per second with animation. So Go is a lot of people are thinking about moving from C to Rust or Go, and I think that this is a pretty good contender. Looking at it, it looks really great. And then last but not least, Dan came by with the Sphero 2.0 that was cut open to replace the batteries. That's going to happen. And also turning an old computer power supply into a DIY benchtop supply using all sorts of found materials. Cool stuff.
Okay. All participants on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker, email support@adafruit.com, and we'll send you one. It's part of our Adafruit live series of shows. Expect to see tons of live shows in 2020, including John Park's show, which is going to be on Thursday. And every single week on John Park's show, he does a Make Code Minute. And what's cool about a Make Code Minute is not only does it show pretty much almost anything you can do with microcontrollers. Make Code makes it very easy, but it's also about a minute too.
It's like a minute, maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's minute.
Back in the day, it took like a minute to compile and transfer stuff.
I know.
Now it's instant.
It's a whole minute of showing a project and how to put it together.
Yeah.
With Make Code, Blockly,
yeah.
drag and drop support.
Yeah. So
all right.
Take it away, JP.
For the Make Code Minute today, what I wanted to do was show you how you can create your own animation cycle for doing festive lights on a Circuit Playground Express using the Cricut to plug in an external Neopixel strip. So, in fact, let's pop up the overhead. Here, if you watch one pixel, let's say this one, you'll see it goes green, red, white, green, red, white. And so they're traveling. You can follow one if we see it goes green, 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 green. So it's heading down the row, essentially. This is, I think, in the fast mode. If I flip the switch, there's the slow mode. Here's how we can create this type of an animation inside of Make Code. You'll see that in my OnStart block, I'm setting up a few variables for things like the brightness level it'll get to, the speed I'm using, And then I've identified 3 sets of pixels that are the greens, the silvers, I called them, and the reds. Then I set up a strip of NeoPixels on A1, and that's that port on the Cricut. And then I set the strip brightness to be the same value as my fade bright. And then here's how I'm setting the pixels into alternating green, white, and red. I'm setting the strip pixel color to greens, so I iterate 10 times through and pick every 3rd pixel. Then I do the same with the white, although that one starts at 1, so it's the next set, and then red is the next set after that. So that's what gives us that green, white, red, green, white, red. Then in the forever loop here, this is the fading. So I index from 0 to 30, and I set the strip brightness to the fade bright value, and then I subtract 1 from that value until we've gone through 30 times. Then we rotate the strip pixels by 1, which essentially is what moves the colors over, and then we bring the brightness back up. That is how we can adjust the brightness values to ramp the colors up and down, and then change their pixels once every loop that we go through on the Circuit Playground Express, running on the Cricut using Make Code. And that is your Make Code Minute.
Forget to tune in tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for JP's show. Lots ahead with JP's show in 2020, and of course tomorrow a new Make Code Minute.
Yes.
If you want to watch it live.
More Make Code,
Okay.
more easy coding.
All right, it's time for Python on Hardware.
Yay, blinka, blinka, blinka.
There is so much going on in the world of Python on Hardware.
Oh, it's a
Happy
nice
New
graphic.
Year. Yep, it's Blinka. Blinka snaking its way to 2020.
It's
CircuitPython was founded on the idea of its Code Plus community. So there's so many things happening that it made sense to start doing some stats.
okay.
So
You love stats.
well, it's good if everyone's working smart together. It's always good to celebrate stats that we do together.
Yeah.
And these are ones that are important to some folks. Like, oh, how many posts did I do about CircuitPython? How many libraries are out there? How many contributors do we have?
yeah, how many commits? Yeah,
and
all
I
that
think
stuff.
I think now that we've been through this a few times with different platforms, different programming languages, different microcontrollers, there's indicators that something's going to be successful if you keep track of things and look at trajectories. So let's talk about some of the numbers this year.
Okay.
There are over 205 open source libraries in CircuitPython.
Correct.
And that's the batteries included. That's the thing that a lot of people can immediately start doing their projects with.
We kind of kicked it off
200
with
is a
a
lot.
dozen, 200. So we have about as many as we have Arduino libraries written. Every new sensor and device we come out with, we also have a CircuitPython library. And we
Yeah.
got lots of displays, internet connectivity stuff. It's all really good.
Yep.
And of course, all of them work on Blinka as well.
And that's how you know we have 200, because Blink is like, look, I got 200
Hi.
here.
Hi.
Okay, another one. Stars on GitHub. It's a vanity thing because people they just
doesn't-
click it.
yeah.
It doesn't translate to money. It doesn't. But people say
Yeah,
this is a repository that I like. This is something that I appreciate as someone who consumes code or contributes to code. So 1,500 stars, and that's been hockey sticking
Okay,
up for a while.
that's another stat.
That's right. Humans on the Discord server, 15,618.
It's a lot of humans.
Posts on Instagram with #CircuitPython, 1,413.
Okay.
Average monthly views on Instagram TV for the Python on Hardware weekly video, this one right here,
Yeah.
3,800 views. That's a
Wow.
lot of people. Community meetings, where we have a video or a podcast, over 116. Every Monday, we do a community meeting, and we have a video and audio recording,
Yeah.
and then we put it into all the different podcast services. We get 116 of those. You can start from the beginning all the way up till now when we started doing it, and you can see the evolution, the arc of all the things that go into an open source programming language built by a community for a community. It's cool.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's good work.
You were like, hey, gonna do Bluetooth soon, to all the way, look at all this Bluetooth stuff.
Correct.
All right.
Slow and steady.
Next up, forum posts in forums.adafruit.com, over 6,972. Community members on CircuitPython Reddit, we just hit 700.
700.
Yay! So 700 thanks to everyone over at Reddit who does CircuitPython related things and Python on hardware. We also have MicroPython stuff in there as well. Products on Adafruit.com that are CircuitPython related in some way, 2,400. CircuitPython boards, It's now up to 95, but we even have a new little download counter for board counter.
Yes,
that
for when
shows
you
the
search.
number of that says the number of boards.
Right, so if you're looking for like how many internet connected boards or how many display connected boards.
Yeah, well, we have 94 altogether.
Okay.
Sorry, 95 because we have the top secret board that we're going to show tonight.
Yes.
Okay, here's the cool number about.
What's the coolest number?
Here's the coolest number. So over half of the boards that are on CircuitPython.org are not from Adafruit.
Wait, I heard, I won't say who said it, but I heard that majority of the boards
Not true.
were Adafruit. That
That's a
most
lie.
of them are Adafruit.
No, in fact, that is a measure of success. If you have more boards from the ecosystem than your own boards, you're doing something
Oh.
successful.
So you're saying there's more boards from other people, not Adafruit, than from us?
There's more boards from other companies and other people than Adafruit for
like
CircuitPython.
one more or like 10 more?
Well, I'm glad you asked. At least 10 more.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
about 40 from Adafruit and about 55 from
Wow.
everybody else together.
I was proved wrong.
Yeah. Well, you already knew the answer to that. This is banter that they do on shows.
Look, I
Yeah.
got to keep it exciting here.
Yeah, we rehearsed this right before we get on.
We did not rehearse it.
I know.
It's live.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Sorry.
What else we got?
So I think I got that right. 54. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number of CircuitPython guides on learn.adafruit.com. 238 guides with over 1,962 pages. CircuitPython videos on YouTube, over 495. CircuitPython tagged videos on YouTube, over 220. Videos in the Python on Hardware video series, this, over 61. This is interesting. The number one video on YouTube related to CircuitPython is from Andreas, and it's called Time to Say Goodbye to Arduino and Go on the
Oh,
MicroPython.
yeah, that had like 200 views,
Adafruit
1,000 views, right?
CircuitPython, 485,000, and now it's Andre's number one video.
Really? Wow, 500,000 views?
Yep.
That's a lot.
Newsletters. Subscribers to the Python newsletter. Big news, and we'll talk about that next week. Over 7,000 subscribers.
7,000.
I have a graphic.
Yeah, you wanted to hit that.
Yeah. Newsletter shipped in 2019. It was 52, and total so far 152 if you go to Adafruit.com. Adafruit Daily, and you can check out all of them. Blog posts on Adafruit.com with CircuitPython, 1,217, and I also linked up some Google Trends there.
Well, there's a lot of stats.
That's a lot of stats. Stick around for the top secret portion of the show, or get it as a separate video because we're going to be talking about the clue board. This is our new microbit shaped board that runs CircuitPython. It's all the things you always wanted in microbit and more. Talk about that soon. Lego just released their Lego EV3 program in Python.
We talked about it, but it wasn't
MicroPython.
live.
Yeah.
Now it's live.
You can now use your EV3 brick to unleash the power of Python programming. Use MicroPython. Simply install the EV3 MicroPython image on any SD card and boot up your EV3 brick to start programming right away.
Kind of cool because it's running Python 1.9,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's MicroPython.
MicroPython, yeah.
Lego decided this was the way to go.
Okay, if you haven't seen it, check out the recap from Tested where they review Circuit Playground and
Did
talk
like it.
a bunch about CircuitPython. We have a couple guides that just came out. CircuitPython libraries in Jupyter Notebook. This is the sleeper hit, I think, for a lot of the things that Our Lady has been working on. You can interact with sensors in real time, interactive Jupyter Notebooks, and CircuitPython libraries on any computer with MCP 22221. Special thanks to Brent, who helped out with that.
Yeah.
Also, been tuning into the Twitters, and one of the cool things is a lot of people are saying the things that when we first started doing this, we're like, oh, this is so cool because you can do so easy. And we're starting to see tweets and more where people get this, and this is from Instant Arcade. I have to say, I'm really impressed with Adafruit boards. I've gotten to them recently. CircuitPython is a game changer for rapid development, and the Adafruit offerings just keep getting better and better. Here's another example. If you want to program on the go, you use Python on the go. This is the Serpente.
Yeah,
and
plug it right
this
in.
is an iPad. And you can, this tweet says it better than we could. Mobile development on embedded systems with CircuitPython using iOS makes a lot of fun thanks to Serpente from Arturo. So this is a board we don't make. And so this is an ecosystem that's forming around all the goodness that you can do with Python and CircuitPython and Python.
So much
hardware.
goodness.
Next up,
What's that?
this parent had a dollhouse, and the dollhouse didn't have a light, so they made a CircuitPython Circuit Playground powered
Oh, that's nice.
light for a dollhouse. Okay, this
It's a pew pew.
this is from Deshipu. You can sign up on Tindy. The Pew Pew M4 prototypes
It's looking
are
good.
going to be out soon.
Got buttons.
Yeah.
Got like a little buzzer there. Got a nice screen.
The
Case.
36C3 Chaos Communication Congress 2019 is out. We posted a link to all the videos and more. And of course, there's some Python on hardware. This is a Untitled Goose
Honker.
It honks. It goes honk, honk. Probably
Honk.
hear in the background there.
Yeah, that sounds-
This is kind of nice. This is FOMU. This is the tiniest Circuit Python possible. It fits into the USB.
It's so
Yeah.
tiny, and it's running on an FPGA inside your USB port. And yeah, they're using Teeny USB for the USB bootloader.
Yep.
And they also got CircuitPython running in it, so it's neat.
This is a CircuitPython powered hoodie. This is an unofficial 36C3 badge using Feather and
I
CircuitPython.
like that kind of like shape. It's kind of a
Yeah.
rounded shape.
I believe Drew posted this up from Osh Park and more. This is Flex After Dark and 0.88 millimeter purple versions of the Blinka PCB designed by Deshipu. There was a session there. You can use MicroPython to hack these cool IKEA lamps. And
Yeah.
more.
Look at that. There's a
thought that was
MicroPython in
neat.
the background.
Yeah.
MicroPython on everything.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And then Cedar Grove is working on this thermal camera project. Lots of progress with that. So you can see.
Yeah, they're doing it in CircuitPython, huh?
Yep. Here is from Steam Tokyo. They have amazing graphics. They did the CircuitPython book, Japanese edition, and they have a ton of cool graphics that go with it. So I wanted to add that to the roundup of news. I'll add more because I have a New Year's graphic now with Shigalori and also Circuit Playground. Our very own Phil B made a Krampus snow globe where the fleas fall down.
It's dirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
the dirt and ashes of the children that
Yeah.
he eats or something. I don't know.
This is from the meetup that was recently.
This is the
in-
Israel.
Yeah, this is the Israel
The Tel Aviv meetup?
Circuit Python meetup. They did a simple project to show how to play tunes from Circuit Python, including Jingle Bells and Hanukkah songs. And they emailed too. They said over half the attendees are women. So
That's great.
this is what's happening with this Python on hardware. It's bringing
It's
lots of people
great for
together.
workshops. You can get started
Yep.
so fast.
This is a Circuit Python based globe. You shake it up.
Oh, that's a nice snow globe.
Yeah, and there you go.
Oh, okay.
This is the New York, the New York, the New Year's Eve dress that
This kinda got
Pink
New
Moms
York
did. Yeah, look,
mixed in.
I saw the New York skyline. I thought.
Yeah.
And here's a
Cityscape.
close-up. Yeah, and here's a close up.
That's nice. I like
Yeah,
I like how not all the lights are on. It's kind of like
Yeah,
a real cityscape.
this is a badge.
Yeah.
That Kevin made for Amy D. And
like a
little
Tamagotchi badge, right?
Tamagotchi, and this
Yeah.
is Circuit Python power.
It's a dog. That dog was kind of weird and sad.
Here is a lightsaber that has the holiday colors of Christmas.
All right, cool for
Neopixel.
sabering or neopixeling.
Here is some live streaming through a socket to show what's going on in this
Is this
PQ.
like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or USB?
I think it's USB.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is another example of how you can use this very cool component, this product that Lady Ada made, where you can kind of just hack anything and start reverse
Yeah, this
engineering
is
stuff.
neat. This is an FT232H, and they used CircuitPython. They used because
Yep.
they connected their computer, and it's like, how do you do GPIO toggling to make this like little Santa dance thing? It was a very simple, bit bang protocol, but like, it's very hard to do GPIO from a computer without a little hardware addition. So that's why I like the FT232H and the MCP2221, because it's like they're low cost, and if you're a native Python programmer, you like Python, you don't have to get a microcontroller involved. And also for stuff like timings like this, where you have to tweak the numbers constantly, it just makes the iteration cycle much faster.
Yep. And from Mr. Beast in Discord, this is the Android version of Bluefruit Playground.
Yay! It looks, we gave them the assets, and they're basically
Yep.
porting the code over to Android.
Yeah,
so
now our
thank you.
app, Bluefruit Playground, has not even been out a month yet, so it's exciting to see already community member cooking up an Android version for all the Android users out there. And that's Python on hardware news this week.
Yay, Blinka!
Okay.
Yeah, kicking off the year strong.
Time travel. Let's look around in the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers.
The last decade or the last
The
year?
last decade and
Wow.
more. All right. So let's do top post of the decade. So every
Oh,
year,
man.
there's a most popular post.
I have to guess.
No, I'm not gonna do that to you. But we're gonna look at it together.
Okay.
So this is top of the decade. So
Top of the decade.
Let me go over to this here.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
So
Let's see.
let's see what the top post was and this is when just you were blogging. 2010, 10 years ago. Boom, Eagle Library, an Arduino package.
Oh my God.
That's what you made.
Yeah.
This is your post.
You can see I'm like running Windows 7 there.
Yeah. This is-
Okay.
and-
Yeah, I made an object that I was using it. Wow. Yeah, that's really ancient. I guess there wasn't even an Uno yet. This is for when you wanted to make shields. I was like, oh, I should make an object so you can do shields.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Next up, 2011 Arduino Whole Dimensions.
Also, handy.
You could tell what we were working on 10 years ago. We've
This
been
is
doing Arduino stuff for a long time.
You can also tell when I was blogging because I would write things like boom.
Yeah. 2012, Great Scott DeLorean-inspired time clock circuit with Adafruit gear.
Classic Phil B project. Really cool project. We could do this because we had the 7-segment backpacks.
Yeah, so that was the top post of 2012. 2013, Raspberry Pi status LEDs explained.
Okay, so this is the original Raspberry Pi 1. So you see
This
where
is, you could tell when Raspberry Pi came
Okay.
out, we were on it. Got
we're
the
on
coverage.
it, we're on it. Okay.
And then this one is from 2014. Now, we're a news site in addition
Yeah.
to being an electronics company. We cover stuff that we like. So this map shows what's directly across from the ocean from different coastal points.
Huh.
So if you were to like get in a boat and just go directly over there, you'd be able to see what it
Spain.
is.
Yeah, interesting.
2015, Raspberry Pi 2 Model B, ARM 7, 1 gigabyte RAM is here, benchmarks and more. We did
Okay.
that.
Yeah, more Raspberry Pi stuff.
2016, a new reference card, Soldering 101.
This is Phil B's great reference card. So easy.
2017, welcome to Adafruit Circuit Python Beta. This is when
Really?
we started
That was our
doing.
first that was really our first post.
That's when we, well, we had alpha, but this is when we called it beta. And
I
said
think because
welcome to.
we think we had to come up with a name because it was
Oh, yeah.
it was a fork that was different enough from MicroPython.
Yeah,
So yeah, we only had support for the SAMD21. It had the 0 and the Feather M0, and I think we just had basic
yeah.
AI. And you were like, "What's the logo?" We were like,
Yeah, and then Bruce and I worked on this, and then this is where we came up with the identity, the brand identity.
Wow,
for
so
the
it's
whole
like
thing.
3 years ago, almost
Yeah.
a day. Yeah, we started in September.
Yeah.
So by October, November, December, January, we had a beta.
2018, most popular blog post: the Apple II source code for the logo programming language was found.
Yeah, I like how we're now going back in time again.
That's right. And 2019, the number one post for the year was 37 years ago today, the Commodore 64 debuted at CES.
People loved this post. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was super popular.
Hasn't really been any news about CES that I haven't heard about. I don't think, I haven't heard anything
Well,
about this year.
We're not going to be there.
No, is there any? Yeah. Okay.
All right, maybe they're going to release a new Commodore 64.
I think they should.
All right, well, that's pretty exciting. I like how it got like, you got really into like retro tech and stuff, and people really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay, so next up. Top 10s of 2019. You ready for this?
Okay,
All right, so let's go back to our web browser.
go back to the web browser.
Top 10 blog posts of 2019.
Okay, so this is just,
This is just this for
One
the year.
year.
Just for the year.
okay, so we know what the top one
You
is.
know what the top one is, so we're not. So
Just
it's not a
skip it.
spoiler
Let's
now.
keep going, yeah.
Okay. Number 10, Arduino Pro ID, the alpha preview. We covered it. We announced
Yes.
that they had it. We had some questions. We'll see if Arduino
Exciting.
wants to check them out.
Two. No, 9.
Sorry, yeah, the second one. But it's number 9. We've posted our photos of the first Arduino from 2005.
Why did we post that again?
Because it was Arduino Day.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Number 8, onboard card diagnostics with ODB2 Pi using Raspberry Pi.
Huh, okay.
Number 7, there was this very sneaky Captain America Easter egg in the Avengers.
People here love
The
Captain
Avengers
America.
Endgame, I think, turned out to be the most popular movie.
I know,
forever.
it was just,
Yeah.
they just took over.
Number 6, the NASA Drive initiative faster than speed of light.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Run a Mac OS Mojave guest in VirtualBox on Windows or Linux. That was
Handy.
number 5.
Very handy.
Number 4, build a car computer with Raspberry Pi.
Cool.
We joined the RISC Foundation and we decided to post up, of course, RISC is going to change everything. Famous
true.
scene from Hackers. Hackers will be celebrating 25 years this year.
Don't
that
remind
movie.
me. Okay.
And then a new guide.
Python.
Python is in the latest version of Windows 10. So you can
Correct.
see like what's going on is like you can see this is trends. This is how people
Okay.
figure out trends.
And
Okay.
number 1.
And number 1 that we
The
already
Commodore
did.
64, yeah, okay.
37 years ago, the Commodore 64 debuted.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
All right. We good?
Yeah, we're good. Gerbs.
Okay, help wanted. So I mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. So we're going to be posting this job up on the jobs board next week.
But maybe you...
We have an opening
Opening.
at Adafruit. It can be remote. It could be here in New York for someone who knows Node and Rails who wants to work on Adafruit IO. Adafruit IO is, I think, the best privacy first, user first,
Sharing.
free, and we have a
Easy
paid tier
use.
if you want to do more
It's super stable.
for I/O, for data logging.
Yeah.
So-
we just we'll hire somebody who will kind of keep it running. I mean, it's running great. It's actually, we've done so much work on it to make it very stable. And a lot of it is adding new features, really cool stuff that we want to add. We just need someone who is comfortable adding to the Rails and Node code on there. If you've done IoT projects, of course, that's great, but you don't have to. But I think you'll like it more if you probably did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next up.
So, coming up soon is Martin Luther King Day. It's January 20th, so that means there's plenty of time to ask your employer if you don't have the day off, what would it take to get the day off? If your company doesn't have paid day off for charity, ask what would it take to do that. If you're a company, especially in the tech sector, so the tech sector has one of the worst adoption rates of a federal holiday, Martin Luther King, a very uniquely American holiday. So this
Yes.
is for the folks in the audience here from America.
There's 20 days.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention this now. So it's a paid day off at Adafruit, but we also do paid day off for charity. And one of the things that I think makes you feel better.
An OK Day is a service.
It's a
charity
day of service.
Yeah.
So like I think if companies are just like we don't want to give people a day off, maybe do paid day off for charity. Let the employees take like one day off, and if anyone wants the approved legal stuff that we put in our handbook when we work with our employment lawyers, let me know. AT at Adafruit, because I think this would be something, especially this year, an election year coming up. If everyone could just do one day of public service together, and if we only had a day called Day of Service, well, that's what Martin Luther King Day is. You know.
If you're in a company, please do it.
I can't change the entire world, but we have a show, so that's what I wanted to mention.
We kind of convinced Apple to do it.
I think we got Apple to do it because they kept. So one of the things about Apple is they would use Martin Luther King Day
In their
Martin
ads.
Luther King in all of their ads.
Yeah.
And
They're like, oh, he's a change
in
maker.
a very friendly way. We're like, you know, if you can on the website on Martin Luther King Day, sure, put the photo up. But are the employees allowed to take a day off? Is there paid day off for charity? So this was a while ago. This was a long time ago. But I think we did a good job. And just like, hey, like if you're going to do that, it's probably a good idea to make that an option. So I don't know. We try. The tech sector has some things that they can work on. I think we all can. Okay, but progress. Speaking of, Lady Ada, you're on a magazine cover.
Yay!
This is Reinvented.
Reinvented.
And you can go to reinventedmagazine.com. I think that's the URL. And you are on the cover for this issue, and it's called Girls Who Hack.
Yes.
Ladies Who Hack.
I'm a lady and I hack.
Yeah, so that is on stands now. Other things. Thank you, everyone who decided to enter the Take Flight with Feather contest.
Yay.
It started November 1st, and there was over, let's check, I think 85 entries. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Back to the browser.
84 entries
84 entries.
altogether.
Cool. Look
And
at all these
these
great
are all feathers, and one or some may be made.
Well, there's a couple we have a few
Yeah.
entries.
Look at this. There's a lot of like finished hardware. There's a lot of good ideas. with
There's
this,
a
too.
lot of really good ones in here.
Yeah.
I do.
So
I
this
am
worked out
very
really well.
impressed.
Yeah. It's a multi-clicker. You can't just scroll to one.
You get it. Okay.
So even though the contest was only 2 months, this was a huge amount of entries.
Ooh, high power motor
Look at
feather
this, a
wing.
feather wing
That's
for
nice.
HVAC sensors. Like, look at this.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
up. Okay,
nice.
So next
We're
up.
going to be judging them soon.
All right. It's open source hardware time.
It
Let's talk about
is.
open source hardware.
We are doing open source hardware.
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to talk about is we did a post about Arduino. So you remember we had the top 10 posts of the decade?
You mean like that was like 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, remember we did
Like,
that?
yeah, I remember
So you've been contributing to Arduino for about a decade.
Well, at least because the Eagle CAD that I
At least.
posted is 10 years ago.
And I'll say this because I'm a user of the libraries. I don't write Arduino libraries, but I use them.
Yeah.
And the information that we have is we're the #1 downloaded libraries in Arduino.
Yeah, Neopixel and DHT are like.
and the number one provider of. And
Yes, we have the most libraries.
Yeah, and so
I wrote like 3 this weekend.
And so why do we do this?
Why?
Well,
I don't know, man.
because we want to help people learn how to code, do projects, and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So every year we take a look at what's going on in the world of microcontrollers. Obviously, CircuitPython. We have our blog post coming out soon where we're like telling the community, please let us know what you want, and here's some ideas that we have.
Yeah.
But we also try to do this with Arduino because everybody's using our stuff. and we're like, here's what we think we could do. And then we listen to our customers, and we listen to people at events, and we listen to the community. And so here's our list that we kind of keep track throughout the year. There's some stuff that we're working on, some stuff that it's not just helpful for us, and some of it isn't. It'd be helpful for the community. So here's the things that we came up with that would be cool to see in 2020. Download stats from Arduino for community and developers. This one, they said they're going to do it at Arduino Day. There's Arduino libraries.info. It's an attempt, but Arduino actually has all the data. So when you make a library, Arduino has a copy on their servers, and they know all the stats.
Okay.
They've told everyone they have these stats at the event that they did.
The reason this is really helpful for me.
They showed this screenshot of it, but they said they were going to post this stuff up. We actually need this.
Because I have to do like library management and deprecation, and it would be really helpful to know which libraries people. I mean, there's the total downloads, but if I can tell which ones are being downloaded and how often, that will help me know if it's okay for me to deprecate, or if I can rename it. Like we do this with CircuitPython because we have a lot of stats and details on it.
Yeah.
I don't have that for Arduino. So right now I'm kind of working blind. I'm like, well, I'm going to change this library, and I just really hope a lot of people aren't using it, but I don't know.
So this is back in March, and I took a screenshot from the video because that was the only way to get this. And they said they were going to do it in a couple weeks or something. It's now, of course, longer than that. It's from March last year. But it would be really nice to have this. I think for the people who maintain libraries, who are making libraries, to know what to work on and what to work on. They do share some stats sometimes. Yeah. So they have forum users and like number of people on Facebook. But the library stats that they said they were going to release would be really helpful.
Okay, we'll see. Hopefully sometime this year.
Okay, next up, tiny USB support in Arduino Core. So
we added this to our Arduino Core,
so
we know it's possible. And the reason this would be really cool is that they did a recent like chainsaw project where the logic of Arduino was separated from the hardware support, which is totally awesome and great. And the next step of that would be if we could, I know we have like pluggable USB, but pluggable USB, like we've tried to use it a couple times to extend it, and it's been very challenging. Whereas TinyUSB is a little bit more comprehensive. And having that be part of the chainsaw project where you can use TinyUSB as your default USB peripheral would mean that you would have the same consistent USB interface across all chipsets. And I think we're at the point now where everything has USB, just like we have like, generic BLE. I think having a generic USB interface would be really helpful as more and more chips get hardware support in the Arduino IDE.
Okay, next up. Oh, well, actually I'll say this. So what we've seen now is when there's new hardware platforms, what people are able to do instantly and easily is get TinyUSB on there, and they're able to do more
because that's
faster.
The hardest part of doing it up port is the USB support by far.
So with FOMU and some of these small devices that are like teaching people FPGA with open toolchains, or things like the NXP chip line, or whatever it is now, especially looking at what people are doing at conferences with badges, this is the first thing. If you get that in there, then you get so much more. So I think that'd be helpful for Arduino, specifically for the community who, if Arduino wants community contributions, this would be a way to do it. Next up, UF2 bootloader support from Arduino.
Yes.
So one of the reasons that we have...
This is kind of paired with TinyUSB. It's very similar. It's a common bootloader that we use. And again, what's nice about this is it's one bootloader that's imported to multiple different processors. So we have it for the SAMD21, the SAMD51, the STM32, the Nordic NRF 52840. It also exists for like Linux, Cypress, some other chipsets. We have LPC support, NXP support. So what's nice about UF2 is it's one standard for bootloading, which again makes easier to do bootloading. And also, not only does it have a DFU, HID, or CDC mode, it also has a mass storage mode. And this is really great for kids who don't have a way to install a driver on a computer. Like, for example, if you have a Chromebook, you can sometimes install like AVR Girl and code through that, but sometimes you have like an Android tablet and there's no way for you to install software other than with mass storage. Like even iOS, you can do mass storage. And it also lets you take backups. So right now it's like if you have an Arduino Uno and you want to take a backup of the firmware, you have to like install AVR Arduino, and you have to learn how to use it, and you have to like type this arcane thing into the command line, and we have tutorials on it, and it's not bad. But it would be really great if you could just drag and drop it. And this makes distribution of firmware and software really easy.
One example that I think kind of hit home
Yeah.
was Bill from AT Makers said, look, I'm distributing assistive technology firmware updates. They're not going to download the Arduino IDE and change something in a script and then hit compile and download it and wait. He just ships them a file
Yeah.
over email. They double click the little board. It goes in the USB mode where you just drag and drop USB, the UF2 bootloader,
Yeah.
and they're done.
Yeah.
So like that.
It's great. I do FF distribution too. Like when we're doing debugging,
Yeah.
and people are like, "How do I test my hardware?" I'm like, "Oh, here's the testing UF2.
Yeah.
Drag and drop it because if you tell them to go and compile something, now you're adding the complexity of the tool chain and the compiling and what libraries they have. Whereas I give them a UF2, it's like,
Yeah.
I guarantee that they'll install it right, and I guarantee that it's going to be the right
So
software.
I think this is another example. If
And-
Arduino wants to expand their ecosystem, contributors and developers,
it's already done.
it's already done.
We've already written this. We're saying
Okay.
we would just think it would be great if it was used.
Arduino library standards and automation.
Yeah, this is actually something that's the Arduino team has started, and I think it's an excellent start. A year ago, we did our automation tools for using Travis CI with Arduino libraries. It's been really helpful. So the challenge now is that there are so many chipsets that support Arduino, and it's nearly impossible to know if your library or code is going to run on all of them. And so, we have 250 different Arduino libraries, and then once in a while, ESP8266 will change something, or maybe there's a new, Arduino 33 IoT, whatever. There's some new platform. You want to make sure that everything at least compiles. So Arduino now has an actions sketch for compilation, which is very good. What I would like is to have some sort of standards that people can attempt to achieve for library style and examples and distribution, because right now nobody really knows what is expected when you write example code or libraries. Everyone's kind of on their own, which is fine. It means we have a lot of creativity and it's kind of like the Wild West. But I also see a lot of libraries. I also get a lot of pull requests from people who are making really bad decisions that I'm like, oh, I know it's going to happen. If we accept this pull request, everything is going to break. And there's no way to explain to them, no, this isn't how it's done. We don't, pass things by reference, or we don't use pointers in that way in Arduino, because there's no place to point them. So it would be neat if there was, in addition to the Action CI, maybe some more scripts that people could do to, a C language or C++ language, style check. I've seen these for in Python there's linters, and I know that Clang has a bunch of testers that can do, but letting you know, hey, by the way, you don't check that this pointer is null before you do something. I think it will really cut down on problems. A lot of libraries are golden path. I think it would help avoid this golden path problem where if people do something even a little bit different, things fall apart.
Okay, well, speaking of, next one.
Uniform transfer of structured data. So we bumped into this because we were just writing so many libraries and we were just copying and pasting the same SPI, I2C, and UART interface code to just send and receive a buffer. These are really stabilized. I think, maybe when Arduino was starting 10 years ago, it was kind of well, we don't know exactly what people want with I2C or UART or SPI. At this point, I think it's really stabilized. And I think having a default Arduino includable library that has a standard of I want to write and read an SM bus. I want to transmit a buffer on SPI, and have it be very compact. And again, abstracted away. It doesn't have to be a thick abstraction layer, but just enough that if and when things do change in the Arduino API, and they do sometimes change. I mean, a couple of years ago, we had SPI transactions, right? That's a really great thing that we added. We might eventually have I2C transactions. We might change the I2C underlying layer, but instead of doing a buffering style to maybe being a more streaming style. If there was an abstraction layer, I think that would be good. I've made tons of mistakes in our libraries, and one of the reasons is why we wrote this abstraction layer is to try to avoid me making the same mistakes. But I think it would help other people as well, because I've seen so many libraries where I'm like, oh man, your library is not going to work, if it's a repeating starter or non-repeating starter. You don't check this return value, and you really should, because if you don't have a pull up, it's not going to work. So stuff like that, I think, would be good. Is, you know, again, we have a library. People can use it if they want to. I'm using it.
Yeah.
But if there's an official one, I think that would be even better.
I was talking to someone in the open source hardware community, and I'll just summarize briefly. So
Yeah.
we're in a weird position where you have a lot of knowledge on what can help out Arduino the most, and we're in a position to talk about it.
Like, I write so much code.
and we have a platform to get this out there. But I think because of the way electronic companies compete more now, there's not as much community. If you make a board and I make a board, it's harder for companies to interact together. Communities, like, you can kind of do stuff in GitHub a little bit, but I think this is our attempt where, like, this information, these are good ideas, and, like, yes, it would help us, but it also help everybody else. So I think that's the dilemma with some of this stuff. And speaking of, so there's a connector that everyone's using on hardware now. It's Grove, it's Stemma, it's
Quick. Yeah.
So this has been going on for a while.
Because all the sensors have again, they've all stabilized to I²C. Like, it used to be like, you get sensors that can be a variety of things, but you know what? In the last 5 years, everything's now I²C.
So SparkFun has Quick.
Yeah.
Seed has Grove. We have Stemma and Stemma QT.
There's Gravity. There's a couple others.
Adafruit has Gravity. We made Stemma
Octopus.
try to be the most compatible with everything.
Yeah.
But there's an Arduino MKR board, and there's something that kind of looks like this, but it isn't compatible with these.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It actually doesn't matter to me because all of our Quick boards have level shifting on them and regulators, and that's just my style. But I know that the SparkFun Quick boards don't. And so I'm worried that people are going to try to plug, Quick boards into the MKR. I mean, it's not a perfect connector, but we're going to have a cable. And if you used it and you didn't realize it's 5-volt output, then it wouldn't level shift. It doesn't level shift the I²C from 5-volt down to 3, and the output voltage is 5 volts. So if you try to power something directly, and most sensors are 3 volts, it wouldn't work. So I think if everyone could either decide, look, it's going to be 3-volt power, 3-volt logic, great. Or 5-volt logic and we have level shifting, great. But I think having something that's neither is just risky because there's just so many Grove sensors out there and there's so many Quick sensors out there that I'm trying to say, everybody, let's try to get closer together. And the maker boards are the only boards that don't match this exact voltage specification, where there's a risk that they could plug 5 volts into a sensor, or they have something with a regulator, but then the pull-ups go too high and could freak out the I²C board. So it would be nice.
This is our attempt of trying, hey, everybody, if we do this, it'll get better for everyone.
I think, and I think more
our stuff is fine. That's why it doesn't matter what anyone does. We're going to do the best thing for our customers and for the community. But we see an opportunity for, if you decide to buy something from SparkFun or something from Arduino, those things will work together.
I think it would be great if there's more compatible. I try really hard to stay compatible with as many things as possible because I don't believe that an ecosystem works if it's everybody has their own little islands.
Yeah.
But that's it's I don't care personally, but I think it would be great for the community if this was true.
So the other thing is we said, hey, send us your comments. So on this page here, this is what someone pointed out, and we got a few emails. If Arduino used the feather format, which the maker kind of looks like it, has a stemma-like port on it. So we didn't put this in our list. And the reason is, I think it's a little self-serving if it comes from us. There's a ton of feathers. There's feather wing took off. There's the wing contest that we just talked about with Hackaday. SparkFun does feather wings. Seed has feather wings. Particle does feather wings. All the electronic manufacturers pretty much do feather wings now. Component manufacturers, they do wings. Remember how shields worked out for Arduino and there was an ecosystem and a lot of people made shields? This is where it went. This isn't 2020 predictions. This is what it is. But I understand us saying it's well, of course Adafruit wants to have the wing standard. We did an open standard. We get no money for this. It's if you make it that shape. We just did a good spec, and that's why people used it. Not because of any other reason. Trust me, it's a good spec. That's why.
It's an open spec.
Yeah, it's a good open spec.
Have fun.
Other requests that came in the comments and people who chatted with us, other languages, Go and Python for Arduino.
I think that's different. That's kind of outside the realm.
So that's our thing. I'm gonna turn this into a little short video, put it on that post.
Yeah.
And like those are our ideas for 2020. Arduino. Let us know if you're interested in any of these things. We did a lot of them,
Or
we're doing
if
them.
there's something that you would like us to do,
Yeah.
let us know.
Let us know.
Let me know, like what I wrote code all through Christmas break. All I did was write Arduino libraries. It was a nonstop Arduino library
Yes.
party.
This is mostly my life watching Lamore, like, hey, still working on that Arduino thing.
They're still working on it. And working on this action stuff and CI and trying to do a lot of integration with our libraries and maintaining the 250 libraries. But maybe there's other stuff that, if y'all want help adding TinyUSB, I'd love to help get that added.
And
It'd be so helpful.
I'll say this too, because I think we're just one voice that tries to collect the feedback from the community, and more we have the show, we have blog posts.
Yeah.
But if you're on Twitter, at Arduino, say you want Featherwing, say you want any of these things. That way they hear that it's not just like crazy Phil and Lamar coming up with crazy stuff. Let them know, because Arduino is a community. That's what it was built on, is a community. It's open source. That's how we all got here.
Yeah.
And I wrote the article a long time ago, why Arduino 1.1 is here to stay. Doing things Arduino like is the way electronics are going to get done, and that helped us figure out what we want to do at CircuitPython. So anyways,
right,
let them know.
That's that blog post.
Okay, we have 2,089 guides. We have one updated guide.
We have one guide this week.
but
It's
you're
the
gonna
red
talk about it.
glasses.
Yeah,
All right, they're cool. It's a looping GIF when we're going to show the video
yeah,
in a bit, but here's a little short clip.
yeah. Well, we're going to show the full video later. This just.
But these are cool glasses, 3D printed LED ring glasses inspired by Raspberry. So somebody tweeted it into my timeline, and I was like, whoa, those are Neopixels. And I looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute, those are basically the LED rings that we sell in the store. So I was like, this is a great, easy winter project. So Noe and Pedro worked together on this 3D print. Runs CircuitPython, has an itsy bitsy on it. It's got battery charging. It's super cool. Fits over your glass, and you can see.
Yep. Okay.
I can see you.
Main New York City factory footage this week is going to be a little different because
Everyone's out.
everyone's out today. However, I wanted to show this cool thing that I made this morning. So using an Oculus Quest, it's a VR thing.
Yeah,
You have to make sure we're on top of all this stuff.
I know.
There is a app where you put in addresses and you save favorites, and you can be teleported to each one. And I use the app and I put in the different Adafruits. So here
This
we
is
are.
some old Adafruit.
Here we are at 24 John Street.
24 John Street, now a hotel.
And that's when, this was 10 years ago. This is when we were in the shadow of where the Freedom Tower is. It wasn't even built, it was getting built.
Okay.
And we were in a really crummy apartment.
It was really crummy.
Adafruit was one table, and that's
Yeah.
where it started. And then this is your workshop. I built you the
Yes, thank you for
the
building me that workbench. That was wonderful.
Yeah, and so that was John Street, and then the other one was so that got condemned. We had to leave.
Yeah, it was condemned. I gotta go.
And
Now we're here.
We then went to 80 Nassau Street, which was a block away. I moved all of Adafruit on a little green cart,
Yes.
and it allowed us to. We still lived inside of Adafruit, just like we did in the previous apartment. So this is a shot from 2009.
This is a
So
little pick and
a
place.
little bit before 2010. I
You know
figured
what I'm
it
doing
counted.
there? I'm writing an Arduino library.
You're writing Arduino library.
probably
We had a
not.
pick and place in our kitchen. That's our kitchen.
Is that the kitchen?
This is
Oh,
where
yeah.
I did this shipping, and this is where the pick and place was. And then I have a little 1-minute video of Lady Ada. This is from 2010, when we had the pick and place.
Okay.
The tiny one that fit in our apartment.
10 years.
That fit in the kitchen.
I had a cat back then. I had a cat and a small pick
yeah.
and place.
So take it away, Lady Ada from 10 years ago. It's like a factory up in here. What's going on, Lady Ada?
Well, I'm making some accelerometer breakouts, and I built that tray holder last time we did a video. And that's because the accelerometers I bought, I couldn't get any in the reel. They just didn't have any. I had to buy them in a tray. So this time we're going to do pick up from the tray. So why don't you watch the tray over there while I press continue. So yeah, now it picks up from the tray and does the vision check instead of from the feeder. And I'm not a huge fan of trays. I like the feeders a little bit more. But this seems to be working out okay.
this is what it looks like on the screen here.
Yeah, and this is the new closed loop vision that I discovered and activated on my machine, and it's working a lot better. It's a little slower, but it's a lot more precise.
All right, cool. So these will be in the store soon, the accelerometers, right?
We'll have more in stock.
Okay. Okay, so that was insane. But that was our kitchen.
Look,
and then,
I had to get this thing going.
So after we saved up enough money, we were able to move to where we're at now. And this is 150 Varick. This is where your packages come from. This is some of the photos. This is the first part that we got. We had to do a complete build out. And this is it empty. And we had to put in HVAC. We had to put in all the electrical. We had to put in everything. And eventually we got into that area. Then Sandy hit. And then we gave up. Just kidding. We kept going. So now we have about 50,000 square feet. We have multiple floors. And all of
this is me from the
this
Pick and
you
Place.
see, yeah, we now have the machine line on another floor. This is a 10-year journey, and I thought it was kind of neat to do this type of Made in New York City because everyone's doing these like decade posts and everything, and that's where Adafruit was 10 years ago. And just to like tie it all back together, we're only here because you all buy stuff once in a while, and that's why we have a discount code. But that's our journey. No funding, no loans, no venture capital. We've always invested back into the employees in the company. And thanks for being part of this 2020. You're reflective over the holidays. And that was our 10-year journey. That was from apartment to where we're sitting here
To the future.
right now. And I'll say this, and this isn't supposed to be an inspiring, speech or anything.
No, but it's very inspiring. I feel inspired.
It's not supposed to be. If we can do this, if we can do this, then I think almost anything's possible because this was hard.
This was so hard.
This was hard, and it's never going to be easy. I do think you have to find what makes you fulfilled, and doing this show and having the community makes us fulfilled. So thank you, everyone, and I'll continue to do more of these flashbacks from 10 years ago where we had a full manufacturing facility inside of a kitchen in an apartment down by, ground zero.
Yeah.
It was a weird time and a weird place to start an electronics company, but I'm glad we did it.
Yay.
Okay, so moving right along. We have some 3D printing. So, remember those glasses that you were showing everybody?
Oh, the ones just like 2 seconds
We have
ago?
a full video.
Okay, take it away. Video, Don Pedro. Thank you for doing a New Year's project.
That's right.
Cool one.
Hey, what's up folks? In this project, we're building Neopixel Glasses inspired by Res. We wanted to make these look like the goggles Res wears on stage. So they've got the hypnotic swirls and color-changing LEDs. Res is a music producer that performs on stage with LED glasses that she made herself. She's created these iconic eyes that's really defined her image. They look really amazing and has inspired lots of makers out there to DIY their own. We designed and 3D printed the frames, and the electronics are from Adafruit. You can wear them pretty much like glasses, albeit they're a bit more like goggles. The frames are pretty simple yet an elegant design. It holds the 2 triple rings and has hinges on the sides. The LED animations are really well done here and feature different patterns. It's based off an Itsy Bitsy M4 and uses CircuitPython to animate the LEDs. Each of these triple rings have 44 Neopixel LEDs, and they're the through-hole type. The Neopixels are actually diffused, so they look soft, which makes them easy on the eyes. The Itsy Bitsy M4 is mounted on the side of the arm, and all the wiring is pretty much hidden. On the other arm, there's a LiPo battery, slide switch, and charging circuit hidden behind the cover. The wiring is pretty discreet, so you can actually see through them with a little bit of effort. There's a few holes inside the ring, so looking around, your eyes can actually make stuff out. We're using the Itsy Bitsy M4 because it's got a fast chipset, pretty small size, and it has CircuitPython support. We've documented this project with build photos, we have the code on GitHub, and downloadable CAD files. It's an open design, so you can use the circuit, and folks can adapt it to fit other projects. You can get the parts to build this project, links are in the description. The parts are designed to be 3D printed without any support material, so you can download the CAD files or modify the design. The CAD assembly includes the electronics, and we also have a parts library on GitHub. The code was written in CircuitPython by Philip Burgess, and it uses the fancy LED library. We think it's a great example of animating NeoPixels, and it's got a lot of comments too, so definitely check it out. These look so good, and the randomness is really spot on. We like using boards with CircuitPython because it enables them to work like a USB drive. This makes editing code much easier because you can just plug it into any computer and edit the files. We think it's the best way to get projects quickly up and running. The rainbow color changing is subtle, and it works really well with the soft diffused pixels. Huge shout out to Lady Ada for suggesting this project and having us do a tutorial. So go check out the Learn Guide and let us know if you build your own. The team at Adafruit really appreciates the community and wants to help make your projects all the better. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
Next up, we have a speed up. This is the way. One more video before we get on to new products with Lady Ada, who's currently working on a sensor breakout right now. This is the recap from 2019 from Noah and Pedro. Take it away, Noah and Pedro, and thank you again for all your cool projects of 2019. Looking forward to all of the 2020 projects. Target next week. Page will be returning 3D Hangouts. We can learn how to make all this stuff every single Wednesday. All right, well, Lady
What?
Gaga, before we go on to the new products, 2020 is a code. It supports us. 10% off. We appreciate it. Use it. We'd like you to use it.
Thank you for using it.
Thank you for using it.
No, really, it's like it makes
Yeah.
it work out here.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do this.
New York, New York.
If I can knew it here,
I can knew
knew
it anywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
They were playing the new song on
yeah.
TV last night.
Yeah, we actually talked about that last night. We're like, New York, New York is played every New Year's, no matter how much Frank Sinatra gets canceled or not. It's just like
No,
that.
it's like,
it's
yeah.
just gonna happen forever.
He's just
Doesn't
somehow
matter.
made it through this.
So the
Okay.
first new product I want to talk about before you get into your jam is
The gift
AdaBox.
of AdaBox.
Yeah, so AdaBox 15 will be a cool thing. We will run out. A lot of people got it for the holidays, so we have a smaller number of openings this round. So if you haven't already, go to adabox.com, get an AdaBox, or even better, give it to someone that you know that will look at this and it could get them on the journey of a lifetime hobby.
All the AdaBoxes are amazing, by the
Skills.
way. I would not be doing AdaBox 15
Career.
if it wasn't like, this is something I would have wanted when I was
Yeah,
like 16.
that's how
I
I
would
know.
have loved this. I would have loved it. It didn't exist. We had nothing. We walked uphill both ways and
Yeah.
we had the worst kits in the world. The
Yeah.
kits were so bad. I can't even explain to people how bad electronics was.
All
It's
right.
now really great.
Let's get on to some good electronics.
Sorry.
Okay,
AdaBox,
so
subscribe.
new products first up.
Subscribe. Okay, we've got two kits. JST kits. This is from request from Noah and Pedro, actually. They are always making custom cables. And I don't even know if I'll show them on the overhead because they're pretty straightforward. We have one that's a JST PH kit and one that's a JST XH kit. The PH kit is 2mm pitch. The XH is 2.54. I'll show you. Yeah, so this is the PH kit. It's not as large. That's not as many pieces. But you get through-hole parts. So this is a through-hole header. And you have the matching sockets that plug in. So is this even the right size? No, because I can't count. Is this the right size? No, I also can't count. This is the right size. Oh, right, there's 5. Okay, so this matches into here. It plugs in nicely, but not so much that you can't pull it out.
Yeah.
Although it's really hard to do it on camera, but believe me, you can remove it. If I had cables, then of course you just pull it out. And then here's the thing. So you have these socket connectors. So the deal is that to put the pins that match with these male plugs, you have to crimp on these sockets. You get a lot of sockets because they don't always survive the crimping process. Sometimes you redo it. I do recommend getting a proper pair of crimping pliers. You can crimp with normal pliers, like needle nose pliers. I've done it. I've survived multiple Burning Mans with it. It can work, but it's not great. And nowadays you can get very inexpensive crimping pliers that have like the right little, they have this little shape that's like a M, and it does a nice job with crimping. But basically you can make custom cables very easily with, again, 2mm pitch, which is common. It's this is like Grove compatible. The 2-pin ones are what we use for our battery packs. So if you want to make like weird custom battery packs, we also carry some of these cables on their own, but maybe you want to have like a weird, 4 to 5 with one leftover type cable thingy. So this is the PH kit. And then the XH kit, very similar looking, also a bunch of white blobs, but the connectors are slightly bigger. So this is the 5-pin 2mm, and then this is the 5-pin 2.5mm. So you see it's bigger. This is 0.1 inch. So this is this is 0.1 inch, 2.54mm approximately. So this works really well with breadboards and perf boards, and whenever you want to use everyday header with it. This is the same pitch as plain header. So that's kind of nice. Both are very popular, so we stock both kits. Again, this one has a ton of connectors. This one has actually both male plug crimpy connectors and socket connectors. I don't know why there's both, but I guess you could put male plugs into these and then plug it into a socket header on a breadboard. So pretty handy, and you get a lot more connectors in this one. So PH and XH kits.
Okay.
You has them. You
Next
wanted
up,
them, you has them.
We have a lot of stuff from Pomeroni.
We did. We got a shipment. Yay! So they have discontinued their old audio line, and now they have a Pirate audio line, which I really like because it has these really lovely 1.3-inch TFTs. Now, there are 3 options, and so you're wondering, like, why are there so many photos you're showing me? They're all basically the same idea. They have an I2S audio interface. They have a 1.3-inch TFT, and they have 4 buttons on the front. And you can press the buttons to go through interfaces. They have a Spotify client, which unfortunately I did not have time to set up before the show because it was New Year's Day, but we'll have a video on the site, and also check out their guide. So you can do, I think, like Spotify or like just, radio, internet radio. But it's got a nice IPS TFT display, and you can see on the overlay it has like the buttons, what they do, like fast forward, pause, back and forth. And the 3 versions have 3 different things going on. So this version, you can see the speaker grill. This version has a speaker built in. So I'm going to just rudely unplug this, remove this from this Pi Zero. And you can use it with a Pi Zero, or you can use it with any Raspberry Pi, the 2x20 connector. So this is a 1-watt speaker. You see connected here, there's a little amplifier, and then the connector for the Pirate audio display. And then here's a version that has the same display, but this time it has speaker connectors, so you can connect external speakers, like we stock 4-ohm speakers, but the same interface on the front, display, 4 buttons. So that's the same. And then the third version is the audio jack version. So this version, it's again very similar to the existing ones, except instead of a speaker, it now has a headphone jack. So this is line out. You can connect this to an existing speaker system or headphones or what have you, and it has a nice I2S amplifier as well. So you just run their script to install this, and you point it at whatever your Spotify account is, or audio account, and you have audio with beautiful album art or what station you're playing, or maybe like cool audio effects. So here's some photos from Pomeroni showing what it looks like when it's running. These are like great little additions. So you have a Pi Zero W, plug this in, wireless internet radio. Lovely.
Okay. Next up, the star of the show tonight, besides the community, all of our Adafruit team members, and you, Lady Ada, is this. It's the Itsy Bitsy.
Some people are like, are you going to get this out before the end of the year? And I'm like, yeah, it's the 31st, and that counts.
We get it up by the end of the year.
We got it up by the end of the year. It's the Itsy Bitsy NR52840. There was a storm, there was a typhoon at the place that was making us these modules. And so that's why it was taking us a while to get them back in stock, is because we didn't have extra modules. But we got them. So the Itsy Bitsy is a kind of form factor that we like using. It's I think 0.7 inch by 1.4 inch size. And it has a micro USB on one end. And then it has a whole bunch of stuff inside that makes it easy to use with Arduino or CircuitPython. In this case, it's an NRF52840. It's a USB capable Bluetooth LE radio module. What's nice about the modules, it's got FCC CE TALAC certification, everything. And then it's kind of big, so we had to use the bottom, so it doesn't sit flat like the other Itsy Bitsies, but it has 2 megabytes of QSPI flash, has a dot star RGB LED, it has a 32 kilohertz crystal, it has like power regulators and stuff, and it has nearly identical pin out to the other Itsy Bitsies. The biggest difference is, of course, there's no pins on the end. Usually there's like another extra 5 pins where that antenna is, but the antenna is there. And even if we did move the module over, you wouldn't want those pins, that much metal near the antenna. And so we just kind of pushed it to the end, and then you have all the connectors that you need along the sides, including pin 5, which is a special pin. It's level shifted up to 5 volts, so it's an output only. That means, though, that you can use it for driving Neopixels directly, or if you ever need something that needs 5 volt power or logic, you can use that pin for that. So this is great for very compact Bluetooth projects. It's our smallest BLE module.
It's the teensiest one yet.
It's the teensiest one yet, and it's got 2 buttons, one for bootloader and reset, and then we have an extra LED for a user switch. Why I put it there, I don't actually remember why. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea. Actually, I was thinking, like, why did I put it there? But you have an extra switch, so maybe if you want to, some people are using this for keyboards, maybe you switch modes or whatever. It has a little, button on it. So it's very small, compact, but runs CircuitPython beautifully, runs Arduino beautifully. You can use it with all our recent CircuitPython library work, and of course all the historic Arduino libraries that we've written over the years.
Okay.
That's the end. Okay.
Okay, so let's do
New recap.
All right, Son of Freda box will run out by the time March rolls around.
So subscribe. We've got 2 kits, JST PH 2mm pitch and JST XH 2.54mm pitch. Great for making your own custom JST cables. We love the JST pin cable series, but if you want to make your own, you have kits now to make any cable you like. From Pomeroni, we have their 3 Pirate Audio kit sets. So these are plug-on bonnets, hats, whatever for Raspberry Pis, any modern Raspberry Pi with a 2x20 connector. It gives you digital I2S audio amplifier with either headphone out or line out, built-in speaker, or dual amplified speaker output, and it's got a cool 1.3-inch TFT IPS display on the front with 4 buttons. They've got some software that lets it, play Spotify or like web radio or whatever, and it also shows the album playing. So it's like really adorable, makes for a great project if you have a Pi Zero W or any Raspberry Pi that you want to upgrade into an audio project. The Itsy Bitsy NRF52840, our latest, teensiest Bluetooth module board out there. If you like the Feather but you want even smaller, the Itsy Bitsy is great. It has an NRF52840 USB capable BLE Cortex M4, runs Arduino, runs CircuitPython, has tons of pins, has a level shifted 5-volt output, has QSPI flash, great for making small BLE projects. And that's new products.
Okay, and just a little benefit here. So the code's going to go longer than midnight tonight because some of the things aren't in stock because it's New Year's Day. So if you want, just
these things, because nobody's around, so I put them in stock.
Just don't tell anybody, but the code's going to be going longer than what I said because that's just where it goes.
So try it tomorrow if you have to.
It's all on the internet, I guess, so probably no one will know. Anyways, but use the code, and if the stuff isn't in stock what you want, you can have it a little bit longer. Okay, so let's do the top secret.
Okay.
While we're doing the top secret, make sure y'all post your comments over in Discord for the questions, but we're going to get to this now. So we promised, we said we would, we did, we're going to talk about the clue. That was your clue.
Here's the clue. It's here. So I've got the clue board prototypes that came in, and actually like almost everything works pretty good. So this is the screen. It doesn't have a lot of colors on it because I'm just using it as prototype mode. And I'm working on this new structure called Sensor Lab to help manage the sensors. But for example, this has a BMP 280 on it, and here I'm just measuring the pressure, and it's telling me my estimated altitude, about 3 floors up. It's got those 2 buttons on the front, and on the back all these sensors, so the microphone, barometric pressure, humidity, magnetometer, accelerometer, gyro, that Bluetooth module that I love, the NRF52840, QSPI, battery connector. I got this debug port, but this won't be on the final version. This is just, I use it because I need it. Reset button, Neopixel, and then a STEM and QT connector so you can connect other I2C sensors. These are all I2C. And then, of course, it's got the microbit compatible plug. And the Microbit Foundation was actually really psyched. They're like, yay, more boards that use the same connector. So you'll
work
be able
with some of the
to
accessories.
plug it in.
Yep.
Doesn't work with MakeCode yet. MakeCode doesn't have NRF52840 support. I will say that. We'll probably add it later in the year, but we don't know when, and I don't want to have a date. So maybe, but for now we have, this is Arduino, so I'm writing Arduino code here.
Yeah,
and
Arduino and
then
CircuitPython.
this version, in the front, I haven't soldered it on, but it has a APDS color, light, and proximity sensor. So this is CircuitPython, so you see the little blinker there. You have to change the refresh location so it goes up, down, not side to side. It'll look better. But you can run CircuitPython. What's great is we have, of course, drivers for all these libraries. That's super psyched. So I'm just going through and testing everything, and I'm going to do another revision or 2, and maybe I'll put it in the store. It'll be fun.
Okay. Well, Also, to answer this question, I expect your product invention development roadmap is proprietary, but if not, it would be amazing to see what directions you're going. This is what
This
we're
is
doing.
it. I just showed you. This is the next
guess
product.
what? There's nothing secret that we're working on. If we're showing it to you, it might be because we just
This is a prototype.
soldered one up like yesterday.
We
Yeah.
soldered this up last Friday.
Yeah,
so I
so-
worked on this like over the weekend.
This is the thing. Like we don't really do anything other than this. So if we show it, it's because we're working on it. And there isn't a product I can think of right now that we're working on that we haven't shown on our shows or on Instagram or on Twitter. We even post in Discord all the time. Here's a board we're working on.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is what we're doing.
it's true.
Yeah. Okay. So with that is top secret. Get back in the vault.
Back in Das Vault.
Okay. So if y'all want to, I have a couple of questions lined up, but if y'all want to head over to Discord,
Yeah.
ask your questions. We're going to get out of here in a few minutes, so we'll make them fast. Don't forget, we can only really find the questions on Discord. It's hard to
Yeah.
get them everywhere else. Just the way it is now on the web. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, just to follow up, it is incredibly unusual to tell everybody what your products. I think sometimes people are like, well, that might be a prototype, or like, who knows what you're doing, and we're actually showing it live real time.
No,
and
this
then
is
it's
it.
shipping, yeah.
This is my alpha. This is the first version I
Yeah.
made. So
Okay.
it's not perfect, but it's a start.
Okay, next up. So let's do these questions that we had here.
Yeah.
Looks like the micro shaped board, by the way. I
Great.
want to get a clue. That's good. Okay, what is better, DHT11 or SH31?
The SHT31 is going to be a lot better.
Okay.
The HT11 is one of the worst humidity sensors. It's just really cheap. That's why people use it. It's
Okay.
not very good.
Will you be able to make a stemma to stemma QT cable with the cable set?
No, because it doesn't have a JST SH connector. However, we will be stocking a cable at some point this year because I have
Okay.
them on order. But when they come in, I have an adapter cable.
Okay. All right. Next up, so folks wanted to see Trash Panda on the wrap up. Yeah, I like Trash Panda project. That was a good project. Okay. So, I scrolled up. There was another one that I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to keep them in one spot. Okay, 2 questions about Clue. Can't do that one because it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. You can't
do
ask.
That one, yeah. All right. Which one is better out of the Pi Moroni?
There's no better. It
Yeah,
all
is there any
depends on
difference?
whether
Yeah.
you want headphone out, you want speaker out, or you want built-in speakers, whatever audio output you want. You have to decide. The audio quality is going to be, different based on the speaker. Of course, if you have a nice speaker stereo system, it's going to be better quality than a little miniature speaker.
Okay. Question: can we start a conservation day on the blog, kind of like Fridays for Future? I think
Do we do like Earth Tuesdays or something?
we do, but I think there could be something where, like, what can folks actually do that can help conserve energy or conserve things that are important? Send in tips on the blog into support@adafruit.com or through the contact form. And if we have enough stuff, we could start to do a day. I do know there was someone who wanted to reduce their energy consumption by 50% last year, and they're posting a follow-up. We'll probably write about it on the site. They got it down to 40% less.
Wow.
And they're just keeping track of it. Yeah, it's cool. Okay. Is there a way to disable the LCD on Hollowing to connect the Featherwing that uses that bus?
The LCD is not on the Featherwing bus. It's totally disconnected from it.
Okay. What board would you recommend to add push notifications to a washer and dryer?
PyPortal is kind of like my go-to any kind of internet connected thing because it's all so enclosed. It's kind of the easiest way to add any internet type things.
Yeah, and the other thing is
You can get debug output, and it has
a display on it, so
Yeah.
you don't have to guess like, oh, let me go down to the washer and dryer and see what's going on. I'd say a PyPortal Pint would work out
Yeah.
nicely, and just put it on there, and it has
connectors,
Wi-Fi,
sensors. Yeah.
and you can use Adafruit IO.
Connect I2C sensor to it, and you can
Add some if then this to that
Yeah.
for the push notifications. You can actually do that project in about half an hour.
Yeah.
With how everything's
Yeah, we have examples
less.
for like every IoT service.
Yeah. Pirate audiobooks. I see no reason why I couldn't add Adafruit.io and looking for a value in paused music, like a doorbell, so the music is paused and know someone is at the door.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do. Okay, this person just is getting into Adafruit products. When they are soldering, when should and they should not install the header pins, like when it comes with headers?
You should not install them only if you're an expert and you need something different. If you're not, the only time people don't solder headers in if sometimes they want wires or they want the header to be a right angle header. That's why it doesn't come with it. But for like 99% of uses, you should solder the header in for each pin and then plug into a breadboard.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're talking in the chat about suggestions for CircuitPython. I think they're talking about CircuitPython office hours. Yeah, we have them on
Mondays.
Well, yeah, not only do we have our community meeting, but the CircuitPython Discord chat is open up the entire time. Okay, and a bunch of Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bunch of those. Okay, so I think I got to everything. If there's anything else, just hit it in the chat. And we'll do our best to answer this, but I think we got to all of it. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right, Lady Ada, let's give something away.
Let's give something away.
We're
going to give away an Itsy Bitsy and an Adafruit
Okay.
Because that's what I got.
All right. What are the rules for the trivia question?
Rules are if you've won something before on this show, even if it was 10 years ago, you can't enter again. Only one winner per my lifetime, so everyone has a chance to win a prize. The prize tonight is an Itsy Bitsy NRF52840. All you have to do to win is call this number. It's going to ring twice. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to say ahoy, ahoy. That's how you know it's me. And then I'm going to say, congratulations on calling Ask an Engineer. And you'll say, wow. And I'll say, you want a prize. What's your name and where you're calling from? And what's a project you're working on or you want to work on? And if you do those things, we're going to send you an Itsy Bitsy anywhere in the world.
Pretty easy to win.
If you were on Mars, we would also send it to you on Mars because that's so cool that you're on Mars.
Okay, that's fast.
That's the phone. It's ringing. I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up.
Ahoy, ahoy. You've called Ask an Engineer. All right, congratulations. You've managed to call this phone number. What's your name and where you're calling
I
from?
hear the phone. Oh, weird.
Okay, wait, hold on. 1 second. We have a technical problem.
Oh, the batteries are low.
The batteries are dead?
Oh, keep going.
Okay, we're going to keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, sorry, Mike. Your mic from Roswell, you said? Rockville. $52, $840. What's a project you're working on or you want to work on?
Our current project, we're trying to make a disco ball out of soda bottles.
Ooh, that's cool. Like a gigantic one?
Yeah.
That's
All right.
great.
We're back.
You can also throw that in a pond or something. Maybe it'll float. Okay, well, congratulations, Mike. You not only managed to call this phone number, but you survived multiple technical difficulties. So
everything stopped working all at once.
And we just had an exciting time here. So all you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, SUPPORT, @adafruit.com, and say, hey, it's Mike from Rockwell, Rock something. And then, say, hey, send me out a product number 4481, and they will send that to you and Emily right away.
Great. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for bearing with us and have a wonderful new year. And thanks for coming on Show and Tell.
You too.
I remember you. And
Yeah.
I remember Emily. Hi, Emily. Okay, bye. Have a great night.
Bye. You too.
All right, that was exciting. We survived, though.
We did it. Okay, so that's our show tonight. I want to say thank you, everyone out there who participated tonight. Thank you all the Adafruit team members. I think Kelly is behind the scenes
Thanks, Kelly.
tonight. All the Adafruit team members, both here and remote. The entire Adafruit community that keeps us going. Very much appreciated. Don't forget the code is 2020. It will be going a little bit longer than midnight tonight because we'll put some stuff in stock
Tomorrow.
And I want to say thank you, everybody. Very much appreciated. And we'll see everybody next week. We're going to keep doing this.
All right.
Here is
Thank you, everybody.
your
Have a
moment
wonderful
of
year.
Zener. Bye, everybody.